Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Hezekiah Judah. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. And today we are going to do an intro as a sidebar to part 5 of the struggle series, Fake Food. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of my testimony and why I decided to do an intro instead of what I normally do with the sidebars. I usually do it after I do a video, because that would not make it into the video, or it feel like it might make the video just a little bit too long, or to be a part of that video it may not seem like it fit. So I normally do sidebars to whatever topic that or I talk about. Now, like I always do, I put the scriptures at the beginning of my podcast videos and at the end, that you can go back, and if you want you can pause it. I do read the scriptures somewhere throughout the podcast, so it's your choice to make. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I've been traveling and going to like different churches, and I have been praying for a community to be a part of. And I love this other church, but when I tell you it's like 4 hours away from me, it's just like, wow. But then I only have come to realize why I am planted where I'm at. So I want you to take this information in series of this series and these sidebars serious, because like I said, I do it because it's your journey. That's why I don't do the pictures, and I just do it as if you would posted it up on the screen and you have beautiful images, because that's the time that you are in God's presence, and you're going to hear something that God wanted you to hear, and that he is using me to be able to say into this podcast for you. And it's going to get your attention, and it's going to grab at your heart, and you may be like searching, like, God, I just need a word, and this is your word. You are uniquely designed to solve a problem. And please pick up that phone call or answer the door when God is knocking or calling you, because somebody is praying and you are that answer. Understand, when God closed the door, or he just go really quiet at signs, he's not repeating. He's not going to repeat what he told you the first time. So if you wait 2-3 weeks, he's not going to, the last time he said to you, he's going to repeat that back again. And I know some people, they are sitting around, and I watch people, because I have been to these groups, I've been to these churches, and they all say the same thing, like they feel stuck. And when I tell them, hey, that is God's trying to get your attention. He's calling you to pray and come talk to him, because somebody is praying for you and you are their answer, and you can do it. But I watched fear come across people's faces as well when I say that you're going to be the first person. So what you are looking for yourself. And the reason why you can't find it is because you're looking for you. You just need to go and talk to God and go be prepared for what he is calling you to do. You can only imagine as a Christian, and you looking at, I'm so sick of looking in here, and when I talk to people about God and they're looking at me like I'm talking about a God that they have no idea what I'm talking about. Yet you saying that you're reading this Bible and you are in church. So you just a body sitting in church. And some people have come to terms with accepting that they are going to do the bare minimum. It's a lot of churches out here that are teaching you how to be lukewarm. Anytime you are trying to cater to the world to get them to come to your church building, you are catering. Now you're like the people that stand out there that offer like freebies of samples and stuff just to draw these people into your church. No, God would send people to you if you have the patience. If it is one, you have to be called to do this, okay? But most people that call themselves pastors and stuff, I have realized that they're not really pastors. They're just a person that's leading a group, and they don't really teach anything. They're just like a able-bodied citizen that's on a standby, and at some given moment, um, I never hear these people preach unless the pastor's on break or something. In some churches, some pastors, they're not really on break. They might, pre-record something for you to watch, and so that no other pastor is preaching. And I don't know why they do that either, because if you are supposed to be setting up a younger generation to take over for you, you want them to have that practice so that they don't get up there and freeze or pass out or fall off stage or something. But I have been with my traveling and going from different churches. I have noticed that it's a lot of churches that are doing bare minimum. They're teaching you how to be lukewarm, and I won't do that, because as in you're reading the same Bible that I'm reading, you will realize that, hey, just being saved is not enough. It just saves you from the angels throwing me in hell. So what do I do to get past that first stage? And I want you to hold on to the very thing that caused you to fall in love with Jesus, and continue that, because once you start getting down into your 3-4 years, you will start to feel like you're dwindling or falling back into the crowd or getting lost or something, and you will start feeling like, wow, what happened? Like, I'm not hearing from God like that as like I used to in when I first started in my first year. And that's because God is calling you to do something different and go higher in a relationship with him. And this is where people get stuck and they stop. Either it's at the very beginning they get stuck and stop because they don't know who God is. They don't hear God. And then near the 4th or 5th year into their walk, and then they start to get settled and they just stop. And I'm watching people that's proudly voicing that I've been working here for in church for 8 years. And it's like, well, you did nothing else. You just came to the building, you just started growing, and now you're in this higher position role, and that was good enough for you. That is sad, because there are so many people out in the world that needs help and assistance, and you just chose to settle because you got comfortable. There's different groups out there. You have children groups, you have the preteens, then you're going to have the teenagers, then you have the young adults, and you have these groups of people. Then there's other churches that are limiting you, that if you only 30 or up to 35, they just figuring that you should already be married with kids and everything, so you don't need to be a part of a group. So there's no group for you to be a part of. They just cut you out. And most people are assuming that you are younger and that you can't be single after 35, which is also sad. So you just gonna, and then don't even get me started on the part where they're sending you to another church because they don't want to do the hard work. They don't need that type of person a part of their group. And believe it or not, if you have a spiritual gift, you have to really pray to God about this, because there's nobody where I'm at. There's I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm located in Texas, and it is very rare that you're gonna find a church that is even preaching about spiritual gifts, or somebody being there to help nurture your gift so that you can use that gift for the body, and also while you're out in the world to gather God's lost children. And you want to bring your lost brothers and sisters home. And if that's what you're desiring, your gift can be used to do that as well. Because there'll be people that be struggling. And God can talk to you and say, hey, you're going to meet this person and this, that, and so forth. And that's what your gifts are for, is for the body of Christ. and as well, and your lost sisters and brothers are part of that. You're gonna bring them home. Some people don't want to be an evangelist, and people don't want to do missionary work anymore, but this is a part of your job as a servant to Christ, to Jesus. And so many people are failing. And I'm watching this, and you read the Bible, and one of the verses that I come across, and you will hear, you should have heard it already, is Hosea chapter 4. All these verses come out of the NLT version. And verse 6, it goes, "My people are being destroyed because they don't know me. Since you priests refuse to know me, I refuse to recognize you as my priest. Since you have forgotten the laws of your God, I will forget to bless your children." You saying you're a teacher or a pastor of like God's words, and you are a shepherd over this flock of people, but you are teaching them how to be worldly, and then on Sunday being godly. You can't tell somebody to be holy and then okay for them to be out there doing worldly things. It's not acceptable. And I'm seeing that it's a bad infection of it. This serving people fake food is just crazy to me, because there are tables, and I remember seeing this before, even hearing this too, about the tables. And it's talked about in the Bible. And if you have a dream about tables, like you're visiting a place, and you go to sit down at this table full of food, understand that's God talking to you about, you need to pick what you want to do. Are you going to be in the world? I need to know. Or because need to know where to go with you, what avenue to take with you. Like, God is always going to give you the option, because it's free will. What do you want to do? And he does not just, that's why you need to have this relationship with God. He's not going to just throw something on you or force something on you. He knows when you're struggling with something. And when he's asking you a question, it's because he really wants you to respond to him, so that y'all can work this thing out, because he's watching you struggle with something. I always tell people, don't look out the window or the door of your boundaries that God set for you, because it's to protect you. Now, Isaiah 57, this is verse 5, and then we go to verse 8. Verse 5 is, "You worship your idols with great passion beneath the oaks and under every green tree. You sacrifice your children down in the valleys among the jagged rocks and the cliffs." And verse 8 is, "You have put pagan symbols on your doorposts and behind doors. You have left me and climbed into bed with these detestable gods. You have committed yourself to them. You love to look at their naked bodies." There's stuff that you, like what I say with certain holidays and everything else, that is all pagan. And then there's ways to overcome that. And yes, you want to do this for your children. And my dad, I never understood why my dad did this, but I am grateful, and I thank God and Jesus to this day for it, because it helped me to be freed of holidays and wanting to be around people that has no love for me, that in their heart they hate me and they resent me, and they say crazy stuff to me. So I thank God that yes, that my dad, when I was growing up, he didn't do that. He explained Christmas to us, and how, yes, this is family. I'm gonna get you what you need. I'm not gonna get you what you want. I'll allow you to get, he used to allow us to pick out either 1 to 3 things that we wanted. And then if he didn't get everything, he would explain why he did not get everything. So I love that, and I want to continue that for my children to come. And it helps to free you from being a slave to something that you should have never been a slave to in the first place. And then that's a part of with Isaiah when it's like you sacrifice your children. I tell people you got to figure out when you give your child a tablet, you're not watching what they're doing. You are basically, when things happen to your children, you got to think, did I sacrifice my children to this? And then you have to face that too, knowing that God will back you. He will cover you. So if you're doing everything in your power to make sure that your child knows these safety boundaries and stuff, and you being there, picking them up on time and stuff, and you're not stepping out of line or you're not exposing them to things that they shouldn't be exposed to, God got you, the angels got you, you covering them, you giving them the tools that necessary to know that they're going to be safe. There are things that if you expose your child to it early, understand that you're going to sacrifice them to the world. And that's just what you're doing when you are. I remember my dad wouldn't allow us to listen to like music videos and certain music, and we couldn't watch music videos until I was literally 16. I couldn't just watch a video. My dad was like, no, because you will not understand what you are looking at, and you won't know how to separate one from the other. And that's a part of what you are. You got to accept like what you are worshiping. And if money is your God, you would definitely come to know that, because you won't know God as a provider when he takes something away from you, like your job or your income away from you. You won't know God as a provider, so you will start to crumble, you will fall. And please do not think God is this small God. And I see churches do that too. They put these values before God, not knowing that's an idol. You can't set rules and regulations that is not biblical bound because you want to treat it like your own personal business. This is Jesus' bride. What do you think he's going to do to you on Judgment Day? Because any pastor, teacher, shepherd before a flock of people, if you don't do what God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit is like directing you to do or guiding you to do, guiding you to say, and you just doing whatever you want to do, understand that you are responsible for these people when they are stumbling backwards or falling or walking away from God. And you don't want that. And I want you to pray. If you're seeking that community and everything, please pray. Please go to God about this, because it is bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's bad. So much fake food out there for you to eat on is unreal. And once you take that seat, you're gonna be confused. If you start feeding off of that, the enemy loves you to feed off of stuff that's not biblically. It looks good because they're reading scriptures right out of the Bible, but then they know how to twist it to their liking and understanding. And you like, okay, you feeding off that. It's damaging you, because just think, if I sat here and ate bad food for a whole year straight, and then you go to the doctor and the doctor's like, yeah, you have stage 1 cancer, or you have high blood pressure that's going to require you to have open heart surgery, or something really drastic, like damaging wrong, or your body, you deficient in some type of vitamin, you're going to be like, wait, what? I thought I was eating good food. And then you have to reverse that process. You took a year. It may take you 3, 4, 5, 6 months to reverse that process. So just think about that. You have people that's overweight, and it takes them maybe a year or so to undo that process. It's just the same way as if you're intaking all this bad information and bad advice. It'll take you months and years to undo that process. So this is why you should be counting on God and looking to God for everything. So Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 and 6 tell you to trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. That's why I'm telling you to pray. Don't do not sit there and think like, oh, it's hard for me to pray. It's hard for me to open my Bible. Go. The number one thing I always tell people to do, if you don't desire it, you won't do it. So you want to pray to God to give you the desire of like discipline, understanding, knowledge. One prayer I do tell you to do to be cautious is asking God for patience, because my God, it is tough to go through that lesson. It would really work your nerves. I think it took me anywhere between 6 to 8 months to even go through that process when you're praying for patience. And I didn't know it until a pastor was like, yo, the hardest thing you could ask for is patience. And they're like, every time you will see that if you tell somebody you ask for patience, you might even hear them go, oh my God, like, and it's because it's one of the hardest things that you can ask God for. And it's not a simple process, because it really works with you mentally and physically and spiritually. Every part of you, the work to have patience will be tested so that when you have these situations arise where it would have taken you out, you will be able to stand strong in what God has given you, the tools and everything, and you will be able to just walk away from something that's just would have gotten to you beforehand. Now, you want to submit everything, and I tell everybody, submit everything. Even if you look at something and you know that God is like, no, you can't have it right now, or no, you can't do this at all, please submit everything back to God. Like, have those conversations, because it'll make your journey become more easy, and you would just live in a peace. When people panic, I watch people panic, and they will literally look at me like, hey, why are you not, did you hear what's going on? This is going on. And I'm like, yeah, well, what do you want me to do? That's a God weight. That's above me. So why should I panic over something or be anxious over something? This is where I love that Jesus tells us, like, don't worry about tomorrow. And the Bible teaches not to be anxious for anything, because it's true. And you would get to that point where stuff would just roll over you or bypass you. The world is on fire, but you just calmly walking through it. And that's the piece where you want to be at. And you will not get there if you don't do the work. It's nothing, just like they say, the world tell you nothing is for free, but God gives you anything you ask God is his information that he has is for free. You, his child, he's talking to you. He's willing to have that conversation with you. So that's for free. So it doesn't cost you nothing to talk to God. So feel free to ask him anything and everything and all that you want, because he designed you. He created you, and you are uniquely designed in his image. So why not talk to him? And it'll help you live your life better. Though there are going to be bumps and humps and everything, ups in your journey, you will be able to withstand anything. I tell a lot of people that even in Isaiah, it teaches you how to stand strong in the Lord, because you watching the world around you go through so much, but you will withstand stuff if you know what you are supposed to do. And I also want to voice this, because I believe it with all my heart, that when you quit, you're not quitting your journey just on you quitting on people, your lost brothers and sisters that you are called to. Two, you are quitting on Jesus. Hold that information, okay? I want you to hold on to that, because that's going to help you to keep going when it gets tough. To quit on the King, he holds the pen to, writing your name into the Lamb's book and, removing it from the Lamb's book. People always say your name is written in the Lamb, but they not. I'm going to tell you, he can take it. Just like he wrote it down, he can actually, erase it, because you quitting on him. You quitting on the King, and you saying, this is just too hard. I can't do it anymore, whatever. I'm walking away from my faith. When you're choosing to walk away, understand that you're not just walking away from the people that you're called to, and you're quitting on God and Jesus. You're quitting on them, and you're saying no to them. So you're saying, I don't want to be a part of you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Why would you think that you're going to get to heaven? Like, why do you believe that with all your life, that you still going to get into heaven just because you stood in church and you said, you know, those words that they tell you to say, and you got baptized? It's not enough. So doing a bare minimum, being lukewarm, and then teaches you that doing that is not enough. You need to walk with God, Jesus, and don't allow the king to ever feel like he wasted his time with you. It's the worst thing ever. Lamentations chapter 3 verse 25, the Lord is good to those who depend on him, to those who search for him. That is all a part of that. You need to be grounded in God. And if you are saying the Lord's Prayer out of Matthew chapter 6 verse 10, and you're like, may your kingdom come soon, may your will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that's exactly what you're asking God, to have his will over you, so that heaven would look like, earth would look like heaven, so we'll have heaven here too as well. So it's a heaven that you will experience here on earth, as if you would, going to heaven. So your life, there's a life that you should be living here, and it's God's will over your life. If you are trying to struggle with getting your will in there, if you want something, that's the whole point of you and God having a relationship. You should be able to talk to him. They have unlimited resources. And this is where I don't understand why people shy away from it, because it's like, if God is not lacking for nothing, why fear going to him? Don't laugh when you think that you can't be punished for something sinful, because Jesus won against you again. Like, if he saved you from that sin, and then you go back to it, something worse will happen. The fact that you don't know what that might be, that should be enough to scare you from going backwards. Like, yeah, I can't go back there because I just don't want to take the risk of knowing that something else may. Like, I knew what happened the first time I did it. I don't want to go back and do it. It's just like, you got burned while you was cooking. You know better the next time you step on that stove. Like, okay, I'm not going to throw water and grease because it's going to pop up. It's going to burn me real bad. So you'll learn from your lesson. So if you're getting saved from that sinful thing, and understand that any sin that you commit, you are practicing it. This is why you need to trade it over for a healthy, godly habit, because you're going to. And I see a lot of people are really dedicated to getting up at like 5 a.m, running and doing these meal plans and stuff. And I'm like, if these people in the world is this dedicated to that, and you were that dedicated to your job and stuff, why is it so hard for you to be so dedicated like that with God? So these, I pray that you, with your journey, you pray. You take this information, you take it to God, and you pray about what he is asking you to do or what he's calling you to do. And don't shy away from it. Don't run from it. I don't know how far you think you could outrun God or Jesus. So if they're knocking, please answer, because I am, I tell you right now, I'm struggling between these churches. And it does make me upset and mad, because to know that these same people that they're teaching and they're saying that I love you and you my brother and you're my family, you watching them slowly die and you're helping them die. That You helping these people die because they don't know God or Jesus. They don't know these. And it's sad. I can't sit back and watch people suffer. It's just not me. If I know that I can assist and help you live and survive, that's what I'm willing to do. And I don't care if people laugh at me or call me crazy and, say all this negative stuff. Oh, this not what we do here. Like, I heard that more than enough from people that's sitting up there asking, Jesus, make me more like you. Well, FYI, Jesus not here, to be honest with you, because how could you stand there and tell one of his daughters or sons that this is not what we do here at my church, our church? There's another church for you. No, church is, believe it or not, it's not you, okay? Jesus built the church on a rock, right? And that's his bride. So when you turn away and you saying those words to one of his daughters or sons and his friend, and you don't even know who you're talking to, you could be talking to an angel, but you just want to be that ruthless enough to say those words to the person that's coming to your building and searching for God and answers, and then turn them away, or because you're not actually practicing what you're preaching. It's horrible. So my caution and warning is that y'all take it serious, whatever God asking you to do. It's going to be tough, and I always tell people that. And give yourself a grace period. You new to your journey, give yourself 3 months to go sit and talk with God, Jesus, and allow the Holy Spirit to help and assist you with all your questions before you go all in, because you're counting the cost, you're considering the cost, and people won't like that, but you will be able to know what is for you and what's not for you, and what's fake and what's not real, and what's healthy and what's not healthy for you and your journey. So I pray that for y'all, and I love you all so dearly. I want the best for all my brothers and sisters. I want y'all to have that life that Jesus can offer you, that he died for you to have. And I say, may the Lord lead your hearts into a full understanding and expression of the love of God and the patience endurance that comes from Christ. May heaven's armies be with you all, wherever you may go. God bless, and feel free to leave your testimonies in the comment section and encouraging words. Love you all, and catch you into the next video.